What's up guys, Dustin McDangles back here with another video, and this is the NHL Franchise Mode series with the Nebraska Bucks. And if you guys are excited for the playoffs as I am, be sure to drop a like on this video so you don't miss out on any future action, as well as if you do subscribe to the channel so you aren't missing out. Guys, hit that subscribe button down below, but without further ado guys, let's go ahead and hop into this video here today, which again we will be taking on the Minnesota Wild here in the first series of this episode, guys. Hopefully we can continue on in further series as we fast sim the first period. We're down one, we tie it up here in the second period, heading into a slow sim this third period. We are out shooting them on the power play here with a chance. Nothing going for us there. We are able to get one, Roy able to get one there here in the third period as Alexander Steen gets one past Corpusalo, who's with Minnesota. Definitely interesting to see that, as the Wild able to get one back, but not enough, as we take game one at home against the Minnesota Wild. I would say our rivals for sure. But here we go, guys, simming up to the next game. It's definitely nice to see. I also, in the last episode, went ahead and before this episode, I went ahead, tried to sign a bunch of guys pre-contracts and two ways with AHL guys, but obviously Nicholas Roy signing with us, really nice to see. Vinny there signing a lot of guys, re-signing with us, which is awesome to see. Volchenkov does take a sort of a pay cut, I would say, for 4 years, which is really nice. And actually, we will take a look here quickly at these contracts before moving on. As you can see here, we were able to get Volchenkov for $3.92 million for a couple years, so we do have around about $10 million to work with in cap space next year. Obviously, we will need to possibly sign Edler. We might let him walk as Tavares is sort of getting better and possibly can bring him up to the NHL. I believe the only thing we might need to take care of is the goaltender situation. So, Shesterkin, he is going to want $8 million. $8 million, and he doesn't want to re-sign with us. So, definitely going to be tough. We might have to give him all $8 million. Hopefully we won't have to come to that, but again, we'll cross that bridge once we get there. Moving forward, here in the playoffs, we are up 1-0 here against the Wild. Appleton leading the way with 2 points. Quick sim here the first. Appleton again with a goal. Quick sim the second. Dumba on Shesterkin. So we will slow sim the third period here. Minnesota is all over Nebraska this game, out shooting us. Absolutely mental, these shots right now. 28-17 as we are holding on here. Can we take this game to overtime where one shot can make the difference? And it does look like we are going to overtime, guys. So we will go ahead, hop into this, take a watch, and see what we can do. Here we go, guys. An overtime opportunity to go up 2-0 on the Minnesota Wild as Strome loses the opening draw here against the Wild to Galchenyuk. Greenway with a chance. Big save there by Shesterkin. Big hit on the play. I don't even know who threw that body there, but Pietrangelo behind the net. Volchenkov now passes it out to Shesterkin, and he's able to hold on for the whistle. Second line out there, we've got Nicholas Roy, Sammy Blaze, and Koshe out there for the Bucks, but here come the Wild. Filppula finds Dadanoff, and that's all she wrote, guys. We take the loss here in Game 2 in overtime. Hopefully we can go up to Minnesota and win a game or two and bring this thing back home to win the series, but tough way to lose here. Game 2 against our rivals, as the Wild able to just find a soft spot in our defense there. I don't even know why nobody stepped on that play. Seth Jones and I don't even know who our second defenseman out there was. Pesce just letting Dadanoff right there in between three players, and the Wild tie the series up. So we'll hop into the simulation here and see what we can do. So here we are, guys. Game 3, getting into the simulation. We're going to quick sim the first, and we got a 4-2 first period crazy stat sheet there. Greenway, Jones, Galchenyuk, Lundell, Maroon, and Blaze, all with goals. We'll quick sim the second period. Roy, Edler, Stasny, Iafallo, all with goals to give us a 2-goal lead, so we will slow sim the third period. And what a crazy goal-scoring output this game from both teams, as we are up 2 goals here in the third period. The Wild need to get one, and get one quick here, as looks like we're going to be able to hold on to this win, as Joel Edmondson and Philip Forsberg getting goals on the day, as we win the game 8-4, taking Game 3, a crucial game in this series, as we can possibly sweep away from home to take this back for Game 5, but it all comes down to Game number 4. Can we get the 3-1 series lead against the Minnesota Wild? Shout out to my boy Data, who's doing the Minnesota Wild rebuild, so if you want to actually check out his videos on that, I highly suggest it. I will link him in the description below with his channel. Go check out his videos. All of his videos are good, especially his current series with the Minnesota Wild, so go ahead and check that out. But here we go, guys. Game number 4, away from home. Appleton leading the way with points. Pretty crazy to see here, and we are down 2-0. Krat and Greenway with goals on Shesterkin. Forsberg able to get one back. We'll slow sim this third period, as the Wild are out shooting us like crazy in this game, and hopefully we can maybe sneak one past them here. It's not looking good, as time is running out in this game. Again, heavily outshot this one. Definitely don't deserve to win it, and it looks like we are going home the losers in this one, guys. So tied series 2-2 in the series. Mason Appleton leading the way in points. That is surprising nonetheless, since he is indeed our fourth-line centerman. Byfield hasn't really done much this series. Appleton doing a little bit more. We can't move him up, unfortunately. Is Roy doing anything? He's got 4 points. Let's see if Byfield on this second line can do anything. Let's see if we can actually move Roy up. We can't. Cirelli doesn't work. Oh, man, that's tough. Let's see who's scratched for us. We got Shaw. Don't have a lot of players we can really work into the lineup to maybe spruce some things up that have some big-time skill. Ahonen. See if moving him up on a power play 1 might change some things. I don't know if it will or not, but let's see if this move for Byfield on that second line will change anything here, as we will hop into game number 5. This is a big one. This is basically a best-of-3 series now, guys, against our rivals, Minnesota Wild. Quick sim the first. We're down 1-0. Bufflin with the goal. Quick sim the second. Volchenko, or Iafallo, Roy, Volchenkov, and Edmondson all on the goals. So we will slow sim this third period, as we are on the power play, and get another one. Alexander Steen bearing one. Philip Forsberg also adding to the tally in this game. Another shellacking of the Minnesota Wild, as Byfield gets on the score sheet. Nice to see him. Maybe this lineup change is for the better. Byfield obviously getting on the stat sheet here in this game with the goals, and a massive 7-1 victory heading into game number 6 against the Minnesota Wild. And there we go, guys. Philip Forsberg, 6 points in 5 games. That's what you want to see from your top players, as obviously Matt Roy not happy about his ice time, but you know, we got to do what we got to do in the playoffs. And here we go, guys. Game number 6, as we will also simulate our AHL team. And first period sim, nothing going for it. Second period, we are up 2-1. Volchenkov and Strome on the goals, as well as Dadanoff getting one for the Wild, as we will slow sim this third period. Take a look here at all events going on. We've got a couple hits, couple shots. Power play for the Wild are unable to capitalize, as time is running out for the Minnesota Wild. Can we win this series? Ooh, Dadanoff able to tie the game as time runs out in the third period, so we will go ahead, hop into this one. We'll watch the simulation here of Game 6 and see if we can move on to the next round. Here it is, guys. Game number 6 away from home here at the Xcel Energy Center in Minnesota. Are we going to be able to win this game? And that is the real question, as the Wild off to the races here. Greenway, he's going to get laid out on the half wall as the Wild tie the puck up below the goal line, but here come the boys up through the zone. Volchenkov finds Strome. Nothing there. Forsberg now cycles to Volchenkov. Volchenkov looking for Forsberg. And Korpisalo on the big save there on the goal line. Backdoor cheese feed there. Unable to bury was Forsberg, but the pressure is on the Wild as we look to continue here on the play. Nice to see Byfield in the unis here on the second line with Blaze and Kashe. Pietrangelo from the point through traffic, and a lucky save there by Korpisalo as the Wild up the zone. Unable to connect, as off to the races are the Bucks. Sammy Blaze, he's going to get laid out by Dumba. Ooh, Kashe finds Byfield backdoor. And there it was, our boy Quentin Byfield with a chance to put the boys up and win the series. But man, oh man, Korpisalo is bailing out the Wild here at this point, as we've got our second line still out there. Byfield, can he win this offensive zone draw against Eric Stahl? Ties up. Win. Ahonen finds Pietrangelo. Cuts in! And there it is, guys. We win this series, heading on to round number 2. As Pietrangelo, the free agent acquirer from the start of the year, sends us to the next round on a snipe. And holy smokes, guys, it is awesome to see winning this series. What an absolute nip. Volchenkov leading the handshake against the Minnesota Wild, and what a battle this series was. The Wild really gave us a run for our money. Obviously, we want to continue on and sort of try and get that repeat, as I really want to try and fix those skates on Volchenkov, but Pietrangelo sends us to the promised land of the next round. What a nip it was, but 3-2 winners, 4-2 in the series, and we'll move on to the next one. And here we are, guys, playing the Winnipeg Jets. As let's actually take a look here at the playoff tree right now. As it stands, Kashe actually leads the team in points, but the Winnipeg Jets dismantled the St. Louis Blues 4-0 in their series. Edmonton beat the Flames in Game 7. The Blackhawks actually sweeping the Canucks, so definitely scary stuff here in the West. Pretty much every series in the East was a blowout, with the Hurricanes, Lightning, and Sabres all advancing after Game 5. Flyers and the Senators actually went to Game 7 with the Flyers prevailing over there. So definitely interesting to see how the playoffs are shaping up here in the NHL. But division winner Winnipeg Jets are our next opponent. Definitely going to be a tough one. We swept them, I believe, last year. So it'll be interesting to see if we can do something similar this year. I don't think it's going to be that easy, but we'll quick sim here. Philip Forsberg on Hellebuck, able to get the goals. Byfield and Strome on some goals in the second period, so we are up 3-0 here in the game right now, guys, and we will get all the stats here. Ahonen with a goal on Hellebuck, as Little actually buries one, but Byfield, man, was that Byfield? Or was that just a face-off one? I want to double-check all goals. Ahonen, and then Little on the goals right now. Power play for the boys. And as of right now, we've got the Winnipeg Jets number in the playoffs as we win Game 1 away from home, 4-1. Byfield really taking off ever since we moved him to the first line, or second line, I should say, guys. Injury there for the AHL, as it looks like they are doing well in their playoffs, with a chance to go to the conference final on the line, but more worried about the NHL right now, guys, as we will hop into game number 2. It looks like the Edmonton Oilers are up in their series 1-0 against the Blackhawks. So we'll quick send the first nothing going. Second period, the Jets are up 2-1. Wheeler and Stanley on some goals, and then Volchenkov for us. But we're down by 1. Quick simming the second period. Hopefully the boys can find a way to snag a goal here in this third period. Jets on the power play with a chance to go up even more, and Mark Scheifele buries and little berries on another power play. So the boys undisciplined, biting us in the rear end this game, and it looks like the Jets are running away with this game. It is a dismantling. We'll just finish off the simulation of this game. Sammy Blais gets one for good measure with about a minute left in the game, but the Jets all over us that one as they tie the series, sending it back to Nebraska. And it's not really what we want to see. Let's check out AHL. They're doing really well in their series, but again, we need to pick it up here in our series against the Jets, especially after getting smacked in the face last game. Quick sim period 1, Blake Wheeler on Shesterkin able to score. Quick sim number 2, Sammy Blais and Little on the goals. Will slow sim the third period. This is a pivotal game here, guys, and Volchenkov able to bury. Seth Jones able to bury on the back end, which is nice. Seth Jones actually scoring from the slot. Patrick Laine comes back with a goal of his own, and Mark Scheifele right after that, only a few minutes later, able to bury, and we are in trouble here in game number 3 at home. But Matt Roy, I should say, Nick Roy, whatever his name is, able to bury there. We go to overtime, guys, and you know what that means. We're hopping into this game and checking out this sort of final simulation of game number 3 here against the Winnipeg Jets. Here we are, guys, in overtime. We have got to pull a win out of this one. Pivotal game number 3, first one at home, as Forsberg and Strome connecting here in the neutral zone. Here comes Philip Forsberg. He's going to try and work that up to the point. Cannot. Volchenkov finds Forsberg. There it is! And a quick ender as Ryan Strome, I believe, able to bury on the play. Finds a way to end this game early in overtime, seconds in overtime. And that's a way to take a hold of a series, especially after the last game where we got absolutely pumped. Shot on target, and Strome is there to bury on the juicy rebound left there by Hellebuck. Out of the corner, great puck play from our first line all around. Volchenkov, Forsberg, and Strome. And again, Strome able to bury there on the play as we'll hop into the simulation of game number 4. Here we go, guys, hopping into game number 4, as we've got a big one against the Jets. This can take it to 3-1, so we will quick sim the first. We're down by 1. Volchenkov again. Crazy. Oh, my goodness. We're not even going to bother hopping into this third period for a quick sim. Got absolutely pumped there. Volchenkov, Ahonen with some goals in the third, but little burying the empty netter. Then the Jets win 6-3, so game number 4, uneventful for the Bucks as we get absolutely pumped on the day. And it looks like our AHL team is also having some trouble of their own in their series. They could be knocked out. They go to game 5, I believe, as we are actually in game number 5 as well. Tied series. The Oilers are up 3-1 in theirs, and this is a big game, guys. Not going to lie. Definitely nervous for this one. Roslovic gets the Jets up 1. We're able to tie the game, Stasny and Volchenkov, so we'll slow sim this third period. And we're getting heavily outshot, which is not a sign of good things here. It's going to be tough. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull this one out, as Stanley able to bury on the power play. The Jets with a chance to go up more. Can we get one in the dying minutes of this game to send it to overtime? And Panik able to get the empty netter, and we lose game number, I believe that was 6. That was game number 5. So we are now down. Did our AHL team win? They did, so they go to the next round. We're going to need a big one, guys, away from home. Away from home. This is some scary stuff, guys. Scary stuff. Hopping into game number... Actually, it's at home, game number 6. It's going to be a tough one, so we'll hop into it here. Let me first actually fix our lineup for the AHL. Obviously, we want them to do well, but let me do this first. Definitely scared for game number 6, guys, as we will quick sim the first period 0-0. We're out shooting the Jets, so that is a good sign for things to come, As Kashe able to get on the board, will slow sim this third period, and Blake Wheeler right out of the gate, 2 minutes in, is able to score, but Byfield right back at him 2 minutes later in the 16th minute. And we are up by 1 here in game number 6. Patrick Laine able to get one past Shesterkin. And here we go, guys. Will this go to overtime, or will there be some late drama here in the game? Power play for the Bucks. Unable to bury, and we are in overtime, guys. So as always, we'll hop in and watch this outcome. Here we are, guys, in game number 6 at home. We've been doing well here in these simulations as Volchenkov. Oh my goodness! I was just about to say we've been doing really well in the simulations every time we hop in and watch. And Alhonen and Volchenkov connecting there early. That shocked me. I was just checking my phone as I saw that play developing. And Volchenkov goes short side OP on Hellebuck to win game 6, sending us to game number 7 of the second round. What an absolute nip. Volchenkov has been an absolute stud, a hero in these playoffs right now, and hopefully he's got a little bit magic left in him as we go to game number 7 of these Stanley Cup playoffs. And here we go, guys, game number 7 against the Winnipeg Jets here in the second round. Quick sim Pietrangelo with 2 goals, and we'll quick sim the, oh my goodness, Couturier, Scheifele, Little, Cirelli with a goal for the Bucks, but we are down here against the Jets by 1 here in third period, game number 7, with a chance. We're out shooting them a little bit here. We got to find a way to get the back of the net. Who knows? Time is running out for the Bucks here. Our hopes of a back-to-back Stanley Cup are down the drain as Patrick Laine buries it, and that ends our hopes for a chance at a back-to-back Stanley Cup, guys. That is tough. Really tough pill to swallow right there. I mean, the team did well this year. Obviously, Kashe leading the team in points is not what you want to see. Man, I really want to take a look at these playoff stats if possible. That's tough. I'm having a hard time to sort of digest everything what just happened. Let's take a look at Shesterkin. I want to take a look at him. See how he did these playoffs. Season stats, playoff stats. How did he do? 902. Eesh. He went 7-5, 1 overtime loss, 3.27. We might want to try and trade him out. Let's actually take a look and see here, because he's pretty much our only player we still need to get when it comes to contracts signed, and he wants $8 million. And a goalie with those stats in the playoffs is not what we're looking for. So let's take a look here at pending free agents to look forward to possibly. I mean, we got some big-time players. Pasternak, DeBrincat, actually. That would be a nice little shout if we could possibly get him signed. He'd definitely be super expensive. He fits our lines, which is really, really cool to see. And then let's take a look at goalies. Who's up for goalies? Obviously, Shesterkin is the best one available, but we've got Samsonov. Could be a nice little shout. Kata Hot. That might be something we really want to try and go after. He has some great stats as well. Hasn't really played a lot this year, which is quite interesting. Actually, that's a lie. He's played a lot this year. They were just showing playoff stats, but Carter Hart, if they don't sign him, he could be somebody we bring in, or Samsonov. Maybe even bring in somebody a little bit older like Ben Bishop from the Dallas Stars. Obviously, decent stats for playoffs. Take a look here at what he did this season. Not the best. So definitely Carter Hart. Maybe Samsonov. Let's take a look here. I mean, those are great stats for playoffs. Let's take a look here at what he did this season. 908 with a 293. Not terrible. Obviously, it doesn't look like Shesterkin is going to work out for us by the looks of things. I mean, just looking at what he did with the Rangers, maybe I should have done a little bit more sort of looking before we made that deal, because his goals against are super high. I mean, they were pretty low during the season, but 9 and 7 in 17 games played is not going to get it done in the NHL. So maybe need to move on from him, maybe trade him at the draft. That could be a possibility. So I will simulate up here. We'll simulate all the way up to the draft, and we will check out all the team like the playoffs, the awards, everything, and we'll close out this episode. So here are the results of the draft lottery, guys. San Jose with the first pick, then it goes Columbus, LA, the Rangers, and the Detroit Red Wings. Actually, the Rangers got hosed out of that first position as the Sharks actually move up one. Crazy to see. And we can take a look here now at the retired players, which will be interesting. We got Marleau. Blake Wheeler actually hanging up the skates after a pretty decent career, just missing out on 1,000 points. Brett Burns, Dustin Brown, Duncan Keith, Travis Zajac, James Neal, Kessler, Jussi Jokinen, Milan Lucic, Franz Nielsen, Dubinsky, Perreault, Anisimov, Boychuk, Brian Boyle. We got some big time Lee Komarov, Jay Beagle, Bolesky, Nate Thompson. We got some big time retirees. Nathan Gerby, one of the smallest guys in the NHL, calling it a career. Ryan Reeves, of all players, Kevin Miller, Darth McQuaid, Adam McQuaid, Ryan Wilson, and it doesn't look like a lot of other big times. Let's take a look here at goaltenders, who's calling it a career. Craig Anderson, Mike Smith, Corey Schneider, hanging up the skates, hanging up the pads. Carter Hutton hanging up the pads. Chad Johnson hanging him up. Justin Peters, Jeff Zakoff, formerly of the Pittsburgh Penguins and Los Angeles Kings, and Justin Pogge hanging him up as well, 37 years of age. Crazy stuff to see there, and we'll get into, if it will let me, let's see here. Wheeler and Burns are now scouts, or coaches, I should say. We've got some turnover. Obviously, we will continue simming here. Pro Scout on the line, and we are at the draft. So let's actually take a look back. Obviously, as you guys can see there, the Edmonton Oilers are your Stanley Cup champions. Kasha up to an 87, actually. Interesting to see. And the Oilers actually beat the Jets 4-2 in the conference finals. And they end up sweeping the Carolina Hurricanes 4-0 in the Stanley Cup finals. So they get their revenge after losing to us in the previous season to win their Stanley Cup. Which is crazy to see there. Let's take a look here at league awards. Obviously, the Oilers winning the Cup, and you can see there we won it last year. Sabres won the President's Trophy. They didn't make the Cup final, which is interesting to see. And then let's get down to the individual awards. Eichel wins the Art Ross. Kucherov wins the Hart. Dahlin wins the Norris. Huberdeau the Lady Byng. Rate the Calder. We've got the Conn Smythe going to Connor McDavid. The Vezina for the second year in a row to Connor Hellebuck, and he's been on there a bunch. Hellebuck wins the Jennings Trophy as well. Muzzin wins the Masterton. Jack Adams goes to Minnesota. Giroux wins the Selke, which is quite interesting to see. Kucherov on the Ted Lindsay Award. And the Maurice Richard Trophy goes to Jack Eichel. Taking a look here, actually, at the AHL, I want to see if anybody from our squad won anything. And it's not looking like anybody from our squad did. The Calder actually went to the Bridgeport Sound Tigers, who actually beat the Burnaby Aces in their second round of the playoffs, or I believe it was conference finals. Obviously, they won the regular season 3 years running, which is crazy to see. Eastern Conference 3 years running, and the Division 3 years running. So, obviously, our AHL team is doing really well for themselves, developing players like crazy. And actually, I do want to take a look here at our lines and seeing sort of the development. Actually, we can't really see the development of them, which kind of sucks, but let's sort of run down it here on Honan up to an 84, which is really cool to see. Let's see here. Byfield up to an 82, which is really awesome. Let's take a look here at his playoffs. I know once we moved him up a line in the playoffs, he did really well. Obviously, 3 goals, 5 assists in 13 games. Pretty nice stuff. Let's actually take a look here in the system. Bowie's up to a 79. Paul Stastny, we've got some decent players. Rossi up to a 78. Really nice to see him. 81 games, 15 goals, 40 assists. Awesome to see him starting to do well with us after making that trade for him. Trying to find where that Tavares is. Is he up in the big show? He is. He's up to an 80 overall, so we most likely can let Edler walk, which could be a possibility. He is a two-way defender as well, so he could fit in nicely at the NHL level, and we can let Edler walk, or even trade Edler, which could be a possibility. So, again, we've got $14 million next year to work with in space, and we might want to let Shesterkin go, maybe for somebody bigger. Who knows what the free agency market is going to look like. But that's going to be it for today's episode, guys. If you did enjoy it, be sure to drop a like on this video. I know we just missed out on going back-to-back, but we will be back again, reloaded and ready to go for next year. But I hope you guys have a good one, and as always, stay dusty.